Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Evangelist Nick Garrett channel. The Amazon Synod, the regional Amazonian gathering of bishops of the Catholic Church, is over. As you can see in this video, which covers it in detail, we talked about the ideas and motivations behind it. Today, we're just going to briefly touch on what the net result was and what it means for Christians. The first thing they did that can be viewed as contentious depending on the denomination you're in are women deacons. For the Catholic Church, this is the first of 3 steps toward priesthood. And there has been a commission studying this issue. And what they did is they simply drafted what women in the church looked like in the first century, and they didn't make any recommendations. That was the precursor to it being discussed here in the Amazonian Synod. Interestingly, LifeSite News reports that this controversial decision was left out of the document in English only, because America is where the most noise comes from, not just from Catholics, but Protestants too, toward decision-making like this. That's pretty interesting that they thought nobody in America could simply translate what it says and find out. The second thing is married priests. That's certainly not contentious for any type of Protestant denominations. In fact, this might be a good thing, and I'll tell you why. In the early 2000s, when commissions studied the abuse scandals inside the church, they wanted to make it a point to say that celibacy was the issue, not homosexuality, celibacy. And this is their step toward fixing that. Certainly, a Christian pastor with a family unit inside of which God can edify is better than a celibate person allegedly being able to guide and minister to a family, certainly. The third thing that was very contentious is the concept of constructing an Amazonian rite. What that means is sacramental. In churches such as Catholicism, Episcopal, Lutheran, you have sacraments. Sacraments essentially are biblical ideas turned into ritual. In Protestant denominations, they simply have ordinances, baptism, and the Lord's Supper. Well, those things are part of a larger tapestry of sacramental rites. They're suggesting incorporating ancient iconography from indigenous peoples of the region called Pachamamas, which are carved idols, quite literally. There were 2 very scandalous moments during the Synod where the Pope himself got on his hands and knees before these idols. The Pope said that he wants to draft a post-Synod exhortation, which would be his thoughts on the conclusion of it, and that he would like to have it done by the end of the year, but he's not sure. To be quite frank, at the end of the day, confusion reigns. And that has been the hallmark of Francis's papacy. To suggest moving the church in directions it has never gone before, some quite controversial, but then not actually taking the step, leaving it out there, feeling the temperature on it. Eventually what's going to happen is you're going to see different things across regions of the world. The universalism will be about absorbing anything and everything instead of creating one universal standard that everybody does. It will be a flipped definition and view of it. The other interesting thing, particularly if you're not a Catholic, the undertone here is ecology. Has nothing to do with spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's just not part of this synod. It's about ecology, or in other terms, naturalism. I want to note that naturalism is a secular view, a model that allows scientists, intellectuals, and anybody else to view the world and how it got here in only strictly naturalistic terms. However, our God is a living God and is supernatural. We are a supernatural creation of God. The other issue is the universal approach of the church to absorb anything and everything creates moral relativism. This is not new. Moral relativism means that eventually anything goes. The old idea that the Christian God was the only way to heaven, well, that gets abandoned for the idea that it's all the same God and there's different ways to the God. That is a net result of naturalism, as has it been historically in pantheistic religions and just general, even ancient religions. Naturalism has been a course that, you see a society adopt secularism and then naturalism and then moral relativism. It is part of the life cycle of an empire. So we have naturalism instead of supernaturalism in this new ecological movement of the Catholic Church. We have moral relativism instead of God's moral laws. We have a marriage with secularism, right? Because they're, again, a political entity, not just a religious entity. And a altering of the ordinances into sacraments. And the slippery slope we see before us. It goes from 7 sacraments, so now there'll be 8. And remember, in the other video, we noted how on the first page of the pre-synod document, it flat out said we want to use this as a model for the whole world. So if we adopt Pachamama in South America, what are we going to adopt in Congo and everywhere else in the world? Anyway, thank you so much. Please check out the video on the Amazon Synod and check out the channel for more videos. I really appreciate you being here. Please check out, I organize playlists on my channel really neatly so everything's together by subject. Give it a look today. Also, you can support me by purchasing a book I've written off amazon.com/author/nicholasdgarrett. I have the Just Tell Me the Truth About Christianity series. I've got a book I've written on called Shipwrecked in the Land of King Tobacco, the first Washington family immigrant to America, about George's great-grandfather, John. You can also check me out across all the platforms. Just search Evangelist Nick G. God bless you, and as always, may your work today bear fruit.